All right. Hello. Welcome for anyone who tunes in or watches the replay. Um, so, I am here to talk a little bit about developer experience. So, let's go. My name is Jason. By way of code of conduct, if you do add any comments or have any questions about what I say, I do want to set some ground rules that the intention here is to be kind. It is. Often I am looking at the work of others. I am not trying to be critical of what they've done, even though sometimes I will encounter things that don't work maybe as smoothly as anyone would hope. So, with that in mind, it is growth oriented. So, if something doesn't work or is not as effective, I might call that out. Really, that is to be a lesson of something that, hey, maybe this could be fixed with whatever it is I'm looking at, or maybe it's just something that others we can learn from and not repeat. Um, a couple of other things I do want to call out that having a good developer experience is hard work. So that's why it's really important to recognize that. And also, what you are going to witness is me using something for the first time. Just sort of want to say that, like, hopefully that helps portray it as a little bit of a safe space, right? Like learning takes effort, regardless of your seniority. Just because I may have a lot of experience with a particular technology does not mean that I have ever attempted to use it in one particular context. So simply knowing how to do a print hello world is not the same as being able to set up a scaling backend infrastructure to do authentication or something specific. So, with that in mind, I am looking at products for the first time, so I will probably fumble just a little bit. Um, One of the spirits of this whole concept is, this KPI around developer experience. Around what is the time to hello world? How long does it take me to get a successful result? There's this idea of 3 seconds in communications, marketing, messaging, to really get someone's attention. 30 seconds to make your key point, your elevator pitch. And so I think that's referencing a talk from API days in Paris a number of years ago, that mentions this. So I went into this in more detail in some of the other shows. So if it's something that interests you, you can go take a look at those. I also have done a little bit of a deep dive into certain topics around friction logging, customer zero, user-centered design, how developers make decisions. But today, I just want to kind of take a step back and focus a little bit on what is developer experience to begin with. And these are just a couple of folks who have published things online, I'm referencing. So in this case, developer experience is the equivalent of user experience when the primary user of the product is a developer. So therefore, DX cares about developer experience of using a product, its libraries, SDKs, documentation, any frameworks or open source solutions, general tools, APIs, etc. The whole shebang. And I think that is it's that end-to-end experience of actually using something that becomes super important. This is another one. I believe these two folks wrote this while at Red Hat, and it was that developer experience is code that provides the structure and resources to allow a developer to meet their objective with a high degree of comfort and efficiency, being indicative of a good developer experience. So therefore, any code that is hard to understand, hard to use, fails to meet expectations, or creates frustration is typical of a bad developer experience. So I like this definition just because it does kind of contrast what a good developer experience is from bad, with some examples. And we've talked about that in the friction logging, that frustration of not being able to complete a task. And this feels like a good, kind of litmus test as well. This one comes from James Governor, author in some books, as well as the consulting company Red Monk. But DX is about developer feelings, a socio-technical system which should consider every touch point a developer interacts with, from with a plan to produce software, from learning the platform in the first place, to writing that very first line of code, all the way to actually getting something into production. A lot of times that time to hello world misses that second part of this statement here, right? Getting it to production is the goal. But documentation, SDKs, version control, monitoring and observability, everything a developer touches will have an impact on their productivity, including debugging. Right. So I do like this definition as well for that reason. It provides some very specific, but it also talks about it as a system. So anyways, that is the point of this show. So is to really go into some of these concepts around developer experience and then explore a particular tool or technology or library that I've heard of and want to learn something more about, and I want to see what it's like to get started with it. So I try to do these shows as long as my schedule allows around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. So if you want to see it live and be able to add comments or ask questions or share your perspective, let's do that. I have set up here. I can add guests and things like that. So reach out to me if that is something of interest. You can find the schedule of some of the upcoming shows on developerxp.com. And today, it may be a little bit meta, and I don't know how well this is going to work, but I heard about a particular company that is in the streaming space. And I thought I would go give it a try and just see what it's like. So with that out of the way, let's go. So I'm going to pull over a browser and then I will try to make it a little bit bigger. And hopefully it's big enough that anyone will be able to read. So it could be a little bit bigger than that. I always forget my keyboard shortcut for making this bigger. But so what I'm looking at is Phenix. So Phoenix, of course, can mean lots of things. I believe this is the spelling for it, but it does look like actually I hit some wrong things. So online, org or Phoenix rods, maybe Phoenix feather, but this is actually the one I believe, real-time streaming solutions. So let's just take a peek. So this is the website. I also should say I don't know how far I'm going to get, whether this actually positions itself as a developer resource or not, but it claims delivers video in real time in sync at scale. Let's see what else we can find out. Real-time video delivery across devices. Right. So I'm streaming this on YouTube and Twitch. So the idea here is this may be a solution for hosting a private audience. So I do see that there is some documentation, SDK reference, and so on. There is also a free trial. Just taking a brief look through. In terms of a blog, is there any activity? Migration from Twilio programmable voice, fan engagement, okay, so on and so forth. But let's go take a peek at the documentation. So your resource for creating exceptional streaming experiences and a quick start. So I haven't signed up for an account yet, so maybe I should actually go ahead and do that. I'm guessing this free trial is going to take me there. Looks like there's actually quite a bit of information they want. So I'm going to take this off. So this free trial is unclear, but so they're asking for my name. So I'll go ahead and put that in. I will put in my email address. And which product would I like to trial? So they list a couple of products. There, I can actually bring it back here for a second. And it's some acronyms, so it's hard for me to know, do I just want platform access? Do I want a multi-angle app? I don't know what that is yet. Real-time DRM or SSAI. I feel like this question, and its required question, really is geared for someone with super high intent. Like I would need to know what that is. Best describes your needs. So I think other or maybe watch parties in group chat is a fair statement of what I have in mind. Um, and then there's an agreement. I'm not interested in the newsletter yet till I decide whether I'm going to use it or not. So, all that said, I'm going to go ahead and submit that form. Oops, has come back with a CAPTCHA. So I'm identifying some bicycles off screen here real quick. Um, all right. So here is our answer. Thank you for your interest. Someone will get in touch with me in 2 days. So I guess I allocated some time today to evaluate and decide whether this is something I want to use. But it sounds like I can't do it on my schedule. I have to do it on their schedule. So that pretty much ends the show early because I'm not going to be able to get too far. I could look through the documentation a little bit and try to get a feel for what's on offer and what I might see with the access. Um, but it sounds like I'm not able to get much farther than that. Um, um, quick start, use the customer portal. And there's no screenshots here and I don't have access to it. So um, I can't get very far. So, okay, well, I guess that's it. That's my evaluation. So I have to move on to the next alternative, I guess. Maybe if I get an email in a couple of days and I haven't chosen another one, I can come back. But for now, that's it for today. So, quick show. Tomorrow, I'm still looking for streaming solutions. But tomorrow, what do I have on tap for tomorrow? Contentful. Yeah, so I'm still looking at headless CMS solutions for managing content, whether I'm going to use my own database or look into using one of the headless CMS. So I have reviewed a couple of the other ones as well. So Contentful. And then looking at just some other things for marketing, tech stack, growth book, post hog, launch darkly, segment, and HubSpot seems to be the theme of the next few shows. So, anyways, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so that you can get notified of when the next time I'm doing this is. And I would appreciate some comments and questions. What you think, what could go better. I'm still experimenting a little bit with this, but generally the idea is I'm doing an evaluation and I kind of want to capture it so I can go back and figure out what issues I ran into. So I might as well stream it and get a recording. So, all right. Thank you. Happy New Year and enjoy the rest of your day.